interviewing you, and I wanted to take time to thank you for doing this interview with me.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So, where are you calling in from today?
I live in Texas, a couple hours east of Dallas, in a tiny town called Longview.
Okay, how's that?
Horrible.
How come?
Um, I just don't really align with a lot of the people here, like on a belief level, I guess.
Yeah, isn't that kind of like where the Bible Belt is, if I'm not mistaken? I could be wrong.
Yeah, it is. Right in I don't know. They call it the buckle of the Bible Belt.
So, I guess a lot of majority of people are in there then.
Yep, definitely. There's so many churches here. It's crazy.
Well, awesome for being different because normal people are boring anyway.
Yeah.
So I did want to go ahead and talk to you a little bit about the album. What was kind of the inspiration for the album itself?
I guess the initial inspiration would have been just kind of like the state of everything. When I started writing the record, everything's kind of been in chaos since the pandemic, I suppose. So
Hmm.
it's pretty easy to find inspiration right now as an artist. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to be angry about or scared about, and so yeah, just kind of the general state of the world and the U.S.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely have a lot of things going on here. I think it's, really easy for people to relate, and it's awesome to have music to listen to, to kind of make you feel better about things and kind of understand how things are going.
Yeah, definitely.
So definitely appreciate that aspect. So is there like a theme of this album? Is it just pretty much all dark stuff, or is there any sort of like light stuff mixed in to kind of balance it out?
No, I mean the theme is like Armageddon, so there's nothing light about it. But it's like told from the Christian or like biblical revelation, Armageddon, the fall or everything, and kind of from the viewpoint of like the failed Messiah, I guess, like if Jesus was real and he could see the way things have become after his walk on earth. So it's kind of like the letdown.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's a really interesting theme as well. I mean, like you said, things are kind of crazy right now in the world, so the album definitely matches that for sure. So, with the creative process, were you just sitting down one day and you're like, man, life is really crazy right now? Like, this is the inspiration for a record. Let's start writing. Like, the world's in chaos.
No, it was just time to start writing again. And so I just draw influence off of whatever I'm going through in my life at the time. And so, it's just hard to avoid online attitudes currently because I don't find that in the real world. When I go outside, I don't see chaos, people fighting over fucking politics or anything like that, or bathrooms. None of that shit's happening in the real world. So it's just kind of like what we all live through online, which is so much of our lives nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. So when you started like writing the album, how did the first song come about? Like what was kind of the process to get started?
I wrote the vocal tracks first because I was gonna do an album more like the previous one, right at the very beginning. Um, and so I wrote the vocal tracks first, and then picked up on the instrumental tracks from top to bottom. So what was the question? I'm sorry, I spaced.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just wondering like what the creative process was behind creating that first song on the album, just like, how it kind of all comes together.
Yeah, so like I said, the vocal tracks were first, and I think I did Through the Water first. So um, I was just trying to combine as many of the, like ghost sounds, I guess, from the past and everything with everything new that I've been doing in a way that people that have gotten into my music recently still like the new record, and people that have been following me for years also, can like the record.
So it sounds like it's kind of like a combination from old records and then kind of something new.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's cool. It's kind of gives something a little bit of something for everyone.
Yeah, that was the idea.
So what kind of drew you to like electronic metally type music?
I guess I think I remember like a specific moment. I was like 12, where I used to play like club soccer, and so I was on a club soccer trip with several other boys my age, and this kid had Pretty Hate Machine by Nine Inch Nails. And before that, I had only listened to, I don't know, I guess the most extreme thing I'd heard is probably, I don't know. I don't even know what I was listening to at 12. Nirvana, maybe? I don't know. And so once I heard Pretty Hate Machine, it just kind of blew my hair back, and I started getting into more and more extreme music from there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Would you say like Nine Inch Nails was kind of like your musical inspiration to get into this, I guess, this genre of music?
No, I mean that was just an early inspiration. This kind of just happened naturally as I was kind of quitting playing metal. I was over playing in bands. And I didn't want to quit making music, so the obvious
Mhm.
choice is computer. And the movie Drive had just come out, so it just kind of all coincided in a perfect little way.
Yeah, for sure. Do you incorporate any like live music into your tracks on this
Yeah,
album?
there's guitar in this album for sure. I'm trying to think if there's any other instrument. There's piano. I did some live piano. The little weird creepy thing at the beginning of Through the Water is on this piano here. It's recorded with my phone.
Hey, but nowadays make some really good videos, so
Yeah,
no shame
yeah.
in that. So, do you have any plans to like tour for this album or anything that you're looking to
Y-
set up?
Yeah, we're working on a full US headline run, hopefully December, or I mean September, and then after that I'm going to Europe for a full run. It's a support run with, I can't say yet because it hasn't been announced. But
Mhm.
and then we're working on some South American stuff. So yeah, we're trying to get everywhere with this one.
Oh yeah, for sure. That definitely sounds like you're covering your bases. I know a lot of people, especially in Europe, are really digging into this type of music in South America as well, which is really cool to see.
Definitely.
So, what was the most difficult process when creating the album?
Well, since I decided to go more instrumental on this one and less vocal, it's instrumental tracks are fun to write, but they can be difficult because you have to come up with more little aspects to the songs to keep them interesting. Whereas a vocal line would do that for, maybe two or three different lead lines it takes to make up for not having vocals. So, yeah, just going back into instrumental type writing was probably the most difficult thing.
So, what was the hardest song to write on the album with that in mind?
Probably Widow Song.
Does it have like more instruments in it or?
No, I mean, actually, it's a vocal track, but it was like extremely hard to get because the range on that track is extremely low. Which is my voice sits pretty low comfortably, but it's like I was trying to get like Peter Steele low, so it was difficult to do.
Well, it definitely sounds like a challenge and it sounds like an exciting song, so I can't wait to hear that one for sure. What do you hope the fans take away from this album?
I hope that whatever they need from it, they get from it. An escape, get some anger out, whatever, just to smile, to have a good time when you're in your car, just whatever, anything that helps anyone.
For sure. I know, especially I've talked to a lot of people who feel the same way, especially, if you're in a bad mood, like hearing music that just sounds heavy, it just makes you feel better for some reason. So it kind of helps get you through those emotions. And I know we talked about the album and it's kind of like doomy kind of revelation. But as far as like the album name, did you have any other like names in mind, or was it just that like prophecy is it? This is, what the album's going to be named?
I think I named the record like after it was finished. So, the theme kind of developed as I was writing it. And then naming the tracks, it just kind of worked. I was thinking what would come after my, I have an album called Possessor, which was like the last it's mainly instrumental record I wrote. And so I was like, what would come after Possession, Prophecy?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds really cool. Like I said, I think especially nowadays, a lot of people can relate to, especially online. a lot of stuff going on with people, and everyone's just kind of butting heads, it seems like.
Yeah, everybody's mad.
So, what is the most, like, I guess, the thing you look forward to the most when you do go on tour?
Tour is just kind of a nice reset to be normal again and be bored again. You know, I get extremely restless when I'm at home. And this has been a long, well, I did a tour, I guess, in December, but before that, it was kind of, this is like 3 years without a new album. So the touring was starting to slow down. So I'm getting antsy for sure. So it's always just a really good reset. That's probably what I like about it the most
Well, yeah, it's always good to reset. It sounds like 3 years is kind of a long period just to rest and chill out.
for sure.
So, with the tour, when you do go, what would be like three things that are like a must-have for you?
Chapstick, good shampoo, and clean socks.
So I have to ask, is there like a specific shampoo or is like what do you think is good shampoo? Is it like scent? Is it, kind of what's behind that?
Um, I know my wife's a hairdresser, so she's always bringing home quality products. But just it's got to lather really good
Yeah.
and not
What
dry your hair out. You know, like hotel shampoo dries your skin and your hair out really, really bad.
oh
And so
yeah,
you do
for sure.
that for like over a month, it just starts to get really old.
That is true. I'm sure as a hairdresser, her quality products are like way up here. So I'm sure you're in great hands.
Definitely, yeah. I'm a little spoiled.
So I know we talked about this album kind of has like a mix of old records and new records, but is there any like change music wise with this record compared to previous ones? Besides
Mm,
musicals, of course.
I feel like it's the most complex album I've written. A complex album. So yeah, I mean, I took a lot more time with it. And that's another thing that was difficult about writing this one is it's there's a lot of intricacies in it and things that I wanted to fill up the tracks. So I took a lot longer with each track.
So how long did the album take to create from like start to finish?
Probably 6 to 8 months, something like that.
How do you feel now that it's finally done and finally about to be released?
I don't know. This is like the weirdest period for releasing an album, but it's finished. I'm not listening to it anymore. I feel good about that. If I do listen to it, I'll hear a bunch of shit that I need to fix and I can't fix because it's too late. So
Yeah, I think that happens a lot with a lot of artists I've talked to. Like, you go back and you're like, oh, I just need to tweak this. And you listen to it again, you're like, wait, this needs fixed. And then, by the time it's like there's just not enough time to go back and make everything perfect. But I think when heard it sounds amazing, so I wouldn't worry about any of that.
thank you.
So what hobby do you turn to kind of recharge after completing an album and going through, like after tours and things just to kind of chill?
I love the desert, and my family does too. So we spend a lot of time in like the New Mexican high desert area around like Santa Fe. We like to hike a lot, so that's pretty much what we do. We go disappear in the middle of nowhere and just we don't relax. I don't know why, but me, my kids, my wife, we are constantly moving when we're on these trips to the desert. But that's that's where my I say that's where my spirit lives.
And I don't know if you've ever, I think it's around Albuquerque. There's a place called White Sands. It's just white sand. It kind of looks like a beach, and people are sledding down hills and things like that.
Yeah, I've never been there. The place I go is more like I guess like it's just more north. It's kind of around Santa Fe. There's a national forest out there, and they've shot a bunch of movies out there. There's a place called Ghost Ranch. It's really cool. It's just like in this one area. It's like a where we stay, probably like 150 square mile area. Everywhere you look, it's like a different landscape. So it doesn't get boring.
Yeah, that sounds really cool, actually. I know a lot of people like, like going to theme parks and things like that, but sometimes it's nice just to get away from everyone and do something just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So that's always
Yeah.
nice. And I know you did talk about like you are looking at touring like America, North America, South America, and also Europe. After that, like what's kind of next for you?
I'm not really sure. Every time an album comes out and touring starts, there's no telling where things will go. I think next year we're gonna continue on and do a bunch of like festivals in the US and Europe. So that'll probably just be more touring if I had to guess. And then for the future, I hope I just am able to continue to work.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to like festivals, how is that different for you? Like, do you enjoy them more than just a regular concert?
No, I hate festivals. They're insane. It's too chaotic. There's no rhyme or reason backstage. Everybody's fighting for space. It's and time, and you're rushed around, and the sound never works right until like the third song. So I love them because I get to see like so many bands that I would never see. But yeah, playing them is probably just stressful.
How does it feel when you go out and you see like all these crowds of people? Like, because there's a ton of people just everywhere.
It's intense. It's I don't know, you kind of blank out. I get really nervous right before, and then when things kick in, everything just kind of goes away. So I don't really notice the crowd that much unless I try to, but yeah, it's kind of like you're just in a haze.
Is there anything that you kind of do before each show to kind of like calm your nerves or help with that nervousness, or does it just automatically happen each time?
Yeah, there's nothing. I mean, we try to do things, but nothing works. It ends up we're just staring at the floor, tapping our feet or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. So I do have one last question here for you. Is there any like message or anything that you'd like to give your fans, your current fans, new fans, anyone who's interested in listening to the album?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that you find enjoyment in the album and just generally, try to be nice to people because I think we need more of that in the world right now.
Yeah,
Give
I think
people give people a little grace if they fuck up your order at a restaurant, or you know what I mean. Just you don't know what people are going through.
I agree 100%. Well, good luck with everything. It sounds like things are going great. The album's set to be released here in a few days, and I hope that you have a great tour coming up.
Thanks so much.
All right, have a good day.
You too. Take care.